of fundraising. Most of these are pretty common sense, but I would cover them just to make sure that we all know what we're doing. VCs place a lot of emphasis on the quality of the team. The quality could be in their experience, having done something similar before or worked in the industry for a long time. But in my experience, and in the view of many investors, the key quality that sets successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is not so much the expertise that they bring, but the tenaciousness, the drive, the hunger, and the passion. If you're passionate about this idea, the VCs knows that even if your initial instincts were wrong, if your initial product didn't quite hit the mark, your passion and your tenaciousness will see you through various pivots that you might need to undertake and try different things, and that is what they want to see. We talked about the importance of being different at length. One of the caveats with doing something in a completely different way is that if nobody has done it before, you will need to do a lot more. You need to invest a lot more in convincing people that this is the right way to do it. It's not easy. It requires practice. It requires anticipating in advance some of the objections that the VCs might have and tackling them head on. Don't wait, ideally, for these questions to come up during the Q&A session. But if you realize that there is some potential weak point in your presentation, or some potential leap of faith that is required, be proactive about it and address it before the question comes up. We talked a little bit about establishing credibility. Ideally, you will have that because you have come from the domain, have seen or experienced a problem hands-on as a practitioner. Even better if you've already built a company or two showing execution skills. But as I said, you can make up for credibility limitations by building an advisory panel of people who might complement the gaps that you currently have without actually being part of your founding team or your employees. Showing milestones and traction. VCs, despite their name, don't like a lot of risk. They want to minimize the risk as much as possible. Again, this is a topic we covered at length in part 1 of this series. Every milestone that you've shown that you've already achieved, whether it's validating customer demand, getting the initial product built out, having some initial beta customers, having your initial paying customers, every one of these shows the investor that you've well on your way to implementing the business plan that you've presented, and that reduces, in their mind, the risk and increases the chances that you will get funded. Now, you need to be realistic about what the goal of your initial pitch is going to be. In our fantasy world, we come in with a magical pitch, we do a fantastic demo, we overwhelm the audience, and they pull out their checkbook and they write us a check. That never happens. Okay? Realistically, what you should be expecting is to impress the initial person that you're speaking to, who is almost always part of a larger, a broader team of partners, so that he thinks that this is a great idea, one that he's willing to put his name to when he brings it to his partnership. So the goal of this initial pitch is ideally to get your champion to present that to the partnership and persuade them to move on with due diligence towards investing in your company, or at a minimum, arrange another meeting where he will bring in maybe an additional partner to get a second opinion, maybe an industry expert that the venture firm trusts who comes from this domain to validate the idea. That should be your immediate goal. Talked earlier about raising money when you can and the right amount to raise. The pitch that you make should be very clear about why you're raising money, what you're going to be doing with it, how the funds will be allocated, and it should be very clear to the VCs how the money is going to be spent on useful, productive things towards your success, and not on things that are of no interest to the investor, like making sure that you are able to draw a decent salary instead of working on your own. And as we said, be transparent. Any known issues, be upfront about them. The worst thing that can happen for you is to hide some of those things, successfully get over the first pitch, only to have those things come out in later meetings when not only are they now out in the open, as they should have been to begin with, but you've also lost credibility.